Yo, TV here with Fitbilly TV people. As I said, fucking like and subscribe, comment, ask questions. So, this right here is red meat. It's a package of red meat. This right here is beef bone stock, natural. It's natural shit. Couple things. If you're Asian, you're familiar with what it means to have bone marrow soup. What does bone marrow do? What does bone stock do? What does beef bone stock do? What does beef broth do? All the stuff that is relative or related to that bone stuff helps with minerals. Also helps with muscle growth. Also helps with soreness. Also helps with healing when we talk about bones. Then we've got the red meat. What does red meat do? Red meat improves the production of white blood cells. What do white blood cells do? They help us build an immunity so that we can fight sicknesses. I'm going to go far left real quick. But what happens when someone has cancer or HIV? They lack white the white blood, well, different forms of cancer to be clear, but specific to HIV, that white blood cell count drops, and then you could sneeze, cough around, they can get sick because they don't have the immunity. Well, guess what? Red meat assists in building immunity. So Gia, the point of all this, to be clear, is Gia is a dog that I'm testing a theory with, just because I understand nutrition. She's got a weak stomach, and one of the keys to building a strong dog is to build a strong gut. And you want great gut health, and that health, that gut strength, if you would, it starts when we're children. And in this case, she's only going on 5 months old. Every time I switch her food, she literally is inflamed, indigestion. I talked about the 10% rule. And that means, again, you got old food, introduce a new food, add 10% of the new food, 90% and off for 10 days. Otherwise, your dog will be hurting. I sped up the process just to see. I had an idea and it was bad. Now the irony is Ego and Tron, they've actually done fine. But because she had such a tough time, she had me on high alert, and that made me put them on high alert. So now every time she's going out, she's throwing up. It's bad. And it makes you feel bad, to be clear, when you watch your dog suffer. So in this particular case, we've got red meat here, some steaks, cooking in beef broth. So I'm like dousing them, if you would, and I'm gonna save this outer part right here. I'm gonna save that too, and make sure she gets it. This right here should help assist in building her immunity, her gut health, any type of illnesses that she could occur in the future. Never mind, this don't prevent sickness, to be clear. It helps you fight stuff when things take place, which is why they say take vitamin C. Well, I know what red meat does, so oftentimes what I would do back in the day was eat some steak, eat some oranges. A doctor, cousin of mine's a doctor, and he believed that when he starts getting sick, he goes and buys all the greens he can and all the fruits and vegetables, papaya, oranges, green beans, pineapples. He would eat what he calls living organisms, so living things, to help fight this sickness that was in his body. Because what happens when we get sick, free radicals, they increase, you get carcinogens and all this other stuff. Look, I'll go there one day with you guys, but that day's not today. I want to show you the process again. Beef bone broth, cooking that in here with Gia. I'm not going to give her the whole steaks. I'm literally got the cutting board here, because once they come out, I'm going to let them sit for a second, and I'm going to chop it all down and still put it in her new dog food. But this is a process, and maybe for a week or so, about 2-3 weeks, I'll put some raw meat in there at some point just to see how she does. But I know that cooked food has the same effect as the other foods, especially if you know what you're doing and how to combine it all. What you cook stuff in matters, like versus canola oil versus and vegetable oil versus olive oil. For instance, for those that don't know this, olive oil, what does it not do? It doesn't fry. It wasn't an oil designed to fry, right? Because it's objectively almost a healthy fat. Then you get into avocado oil, that's a whole other thing. So you don't fry chicken, for instance, for those that are frying chicken, in avocado oil. It won't work that well. But that Crisco, that canola, that vegetable oil, boy, you can fry some chicken in that shit and clog all your arteries. So that being said, don't be afraid to introduce your dog to different sources of meat. If you want to know anything about chicken, for instance, most people don't know that chicken, they say almost, I won't say almost, but they say even helps as an antidepressant. Go, damn. It helps with depression. Chicken has a lot of benefits. It's got a high BV. Biological value means you're going to absorb and utilize it, which means the body's going to process it and flush it out. So it even helps, depending on those who are bodybuilding. They do what? They burn through that shit, which is why they say, hey, eat chicken and rice, because your body's constantly metabolizing it, because it's ready to go. Chicken also, what does it not have? Fat. Steak and other meats have a lot of fat in them, so chicken don't have no fat. Beef, you could buy the lean 80-20 thing, but chicken don't have a lot of fat, especially when you're talking about chicken breast. So you're literally eating pure muscle, and that muscle, when utilized effectively, it builds muscle. It literally says, when you look at what does chicken do, it says it helps build muscle. So that's the other thing. Oh, that's the other thing too. Check this out. Costco, Kirkland brand. Before I even pull it out, years ago, 3 ounces cooked. That's what I loved about Kirkland brand. Kirkland brand Costco chicken. It has both the numbers on there. I used to love this when I was heavy into bodybuilding. It tell you that 3 ounces cooked. Oh, it's 4 ounces now. Serving size 4 ounces was 24 grams of protein. Perfect protein shake has 20 grams of protein. Man, boy, I'm about to get back into this this bodybuilding type stuff. And I remember knowing every numbers. Kirkland boneless chicken breast. That's the other thing. I'll be giving Botron and G as well. Cooked. What I'll do is I'll bake this, dry this out, and I'll shred it, and again put it in their food, and continue to see them grow. I put my dogs in a position to be the best that they can be put in. I got whiting, I got sardines, I got food everywhere ready and prepared to take them to the next level. I know everybody likes a raw thing, but I assure you, I've proven beyond a reasonable doubt for years now that chicken cooked, steak cooked, utilized effectively, because I know how every meat fucking works, always has benefited my dog. Period. When they told me back in the day you used to go to the store and get that salmon oil, I was like, what if I just cook some fish, take the skin off? Cooked the fish, took the skin off. Coco had a chocolate coat that would throw the sun off of it. It was so beautiful. And people who knew nothing about the dog, Johnson County Community College, would be like, God, that dog's coat is gorgeous. What kind of dog is that? And it was a pit bull. One of my first loves. So at anywho, as always, people, take care of your dogs. Boiling this down, you can give them some raw. Don't forget that when you're cooking meat that has fat in it, fat continues to cook meat through. So we're going to let this rest for about 7 to 15 minutes. I'm cooking some of the fat in there. Dogs they need, in a sense, proteins and fats. Carbs don't drive a dog. Starches, we'll get into that. That's a whole nother thing. Starches, which is why legumes and all that stuff is so bad for it. I can tell you all that. Well, I'm going to tell you. So stay tuned as always. Take care of your dogs. We're almost done here. Meat's still a little bit bloody, but you know, you take your time boiling it. It's doing what I needed to do. I bought a couple different forms of this meat from a place we got here called I'll tell you later. I'll put it in a thing if you in Texas. But objectively, meat's doing exactly what I need to do. This is all cooked in bone broth, and we'll shred it down, and I'll put it in this, and all this literally just for Gia. Gia's the only one that gets this. I need her gut health. I need her immunity built up. I'll put on some fruits and vegetables. I got the cottage cheese, other probiotics, prebiotics. Got kefir. Another one is a prebiotic that's super good for dogs. I learned something new about yogurt. Say, hey, add yogurt. Well, guess what? Yogurt, after, depending on what stage it is, and a lot of the prebiotics are probiotics are already gone, already smoked out, if you would. So you go, fuck, that sounds good, but the dog's really not benefiting from it. People learn all you can to put your dogs in position, and guess what this does for me too? Makes me better. So hopefully this helps. Subscribe, like, ask questions, comment. I'm just here to help.